Our next speaker challenges a grammar rule that we've known since childhood and turns it into a life lesson about how we respond when life gets difficult. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Gary Adams as he presents I before E, except after B.
Can I get everybody to help me real quick before I really get started? Can everyone join in on the count of three and say this with me? 1, 2, 3.
I before E, except after C.
Thank you. And now with a microphone. Now I'm actually not here to talk about spelling. More about choice. And actually about two letters. The letters I and the letter E. Have any of you ever noticed in life how often so many different words and phrases are just separated by one letter? We can have pride or we can fight for a prize. We can live in fear or we can choose to do what's fair. It actually boils down to which choice we make. There's two basic paths. We can take this one or we can take that one. And that's what I really want to talk about today, is where choices have an effect on us. So often in life, we'll have certain things hit us. We'll have things come and they'll be hard and they'll be something we just don't know what to do with. And sometimes we feel like we should strike out or sometimes we should retreat. In those choices, a lot of times there's one specific word that has a huge effect on those choices. It's the word I. Because when things hit us hard, when we feel like someone's betrayed us, something bad happened, whether it was work, in our relationship, we end up building our own case. I didn't deserve that. I was wrong. I was right. The only problem with that is that when we put our focus on I, we quickly can become the eye of the storm. And that's where bitterness starts to develop. A few weeks ago, I was driving to a meeting. And as I was driving, I caught myself gripping the steering wheel a little tighter than I probably should have been. I wasn't really angry. I wasn't really feeling peaceful either. I was literally having an argument with someone who wasn't even in the car. It was then that I kind of realized when we allow things to build inside us, when we allow situations and people to live inside our heads rent-free, we're not fixing anything. We're stuck in a loop, and loops create bitterness. When I got to the meeting that I was going to, I went there to try to help support a friend. And I watched that friend calmly, very measured, defend himself against accusations that were being made towards him. In that same meeting, I saw a person in a position of authority stand over him, raise their voice, and berate him. Not to resolve anything, just to prove a point. It was in that moment that something really clicked. It wasn't from the man that was yelling. It was actually from the man who wasn't yelling. This phrase kind of came into my mind. Not like this motivational quote, but more like a decision. Don't be bitter, be better. It's almost the same word, separated by one letter. That one letter focuses on I. I was wronged. This letter focuses more on evolution. What will we evolve into? How will we let this situation affect us? It really sat with me for days after that meeting. I just kept thinking about that. Don't be bitter. Be better. I brought it back to that conversation I was having in my truck on the way to that meeting and thinking about what was I doing with those thoughts in my head with a personal situation that I was going through. And it was kind of amusing as I was driving, because this silly phrase just popped into my head. Remember the one we said at the beginning? Except it just seemed like it would be a better choice. I before E, except after B. Because when we feel wronged, when we feel betrayed, after the B, choose the E. Choosing the E doesn't mean you're giving up. It doesn't mean you're rolling over. It means you are consciously choosing how this situation, whatever it may be in front of you, will affect you and affect everyone around you. Seems silly. We learned that phrase as a kid, didn't we? Kind of stuck in our head. Half of us don't remember which words it applied to until you start spelling the word believe. Wait, I before E. Oh wait, I before E except after B. So, can I get everyone to join in with me one more time? But I want you to say this phrase not like grammar, but like a decision that you want to make moving forward. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, I before E except after B. And if none of you remember anything that I spoke about today, please remember this. Don't be bitter. Be better. Thank you.